All right, check this out. I am stoked about this boat. What's so special about this boat? This was my very first Bass Cat. This is a 2005 Bass Cat Puma with a Mercury Pro XS 225 on it. Now, I found this boat when I was in Iraq. I was on a deployment. This was 2006. A pro staffer was getting ready to flip his boat for that year to get into a new one. I found the boat online, ended up calling the guy from Iraq, so talking to him with that whole delay on the phone, got all the details on the boat. I wanted it, had my wife send him a deposit so that he would hold the boat for me until I got back from my deployment. 2 days after getting home from Iraq, I was in my truck. I was heading down to Georgia to go pick this boat up. Now, I ran it for about a year till I got on pro staff with Bass Cat, was getting my new boat, ended up selling it to a buddy of mine in the military. He had the boat the entire time, so about 11 years he had this boat and didn't use it that much. He lived on a lake, so most of the use was the trolling motor. Didn't use the motor that much, only 169 hours on that bad boy. He retired recently, moving out west, doesn't have a use for it anymore. He called me up, wanted to know if I knew anybody that was interested in buying it. Just kind of perfect timing as I'm waiting on my new Mercury motor. 4 strokes are on back order, so I'm without a boat for probably 6 months. I said, hey, let me come look at it. Went out there, looked at it. The boat's in need of some repair. Definitely, it's a 2005 that sat around for a while. Didn't get too much use, so it's in need of some repair. So anyway, I bought it, and this whole project is going to be fixing this boat up. We're going to update the trolling motor on it. We're going to update the electronics on it, update some of the wiring. You know, I'm going to walk you through a little bit of bow to stern on the projects that we're going to do on this. And it's nothing crazy, and it's budget stuff. You know, I'm not going to break the bank. I would say probably the most elaborate is we are going to put an Ultrex on here. I know when I do turn and sell this boat, after I run it for about 6 months as I'm waiting on my motor, it's going to help the resale of it by having that Ultrex on it. Everybody wants to run that motor. So we are going to drop some Jang on that and put that on there. And of course, because I'm going to fish out of it, I love fishing that Ultrex. All right, so I'll walk you through kind of bow to stern, what we're going to do on this project, the things that we're going to order, maybe where we're going to order them from, kind of some pricing. But, you know, this is a great sort of weekend warrior, everyday project boat. You know, a lot of people don't have brand new boats, and you got to do some repairs and upkeeps on the boat. So I'm going to show you the little tips and tricks and things that I'm going to do on here to get this ready to hit the water and fish this year with it. So hopefully you enjoy this project. Starting with the bow, things that we're going to do, things that we're going to upgrade. Obviously, I talked about we're going to upgrade the trolling motor. This has got a 101 36 volt Minn Kota Maximum on it, and there's nothing wrong with it other than just age and, you know, lots of use, because the boat mostly got used by the trolling motor as the guy that bought it lived on the lake. But I am going to put an Ultrex on here, so we'll go through that whole process, putting the Ultrex on, installing it. We do need to cut an access hole underneath the foot pedal. So you can see there is no access hole. Now Bass Cat does install that access hole so you can reach your hand under, so that we can put a mount here. We're going to install a TH Marine Kong mount that's going to hold the helix unit that's going to be up here on the bow. So we'll go through that process, mounting that. On the trailer, there's not too much work that needs to be done. We are going to polish the wheels up. There's the spare there. The spare's in good shape, so we're going to hang on to that one. The bow roller, this top roller, is in desperate need of repair. Lots of crack and worn, so we're going to order a new one of those from Bass Cat and put that on, go through that process. The winch and everything's good, all the wiring is good, and trailer looks pretty good. Carpet definitely needs some TLC, so we're going to shampoo this, pressure wash this down, see if we can get some of the mold and mildew that's in the carpet out. Wash out all the boxes, but from the bow, everything else, pretty good shape. All right, let's talk about the midship area and what we're going to do here. You know, it's in pretty good shape. I would say the main things are we are going to replace all the electronics. You know, the electronics that were on here, there's a console unit and a bow unit. They were the original units that were on this boat when it left Bass Cat. Still on here, still working, but I do want to upgrade, and we're going to put some helix units. So we're going to have some mega imaging here at the console, and we're going to have some 360 up at the bow with our Ultrex. So the first thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to upgrade the wiring. Now, this is overkill, but this is what Bass Cat does at the factory, and this is the same that I'm going to do in here. You know, a lot of the newer grafts that are, say, power hungry, you know, we're asking them to do a lot of different things, and they do need a lot of power. The last thing you want to do is run into any power issues. This is 6-gauge wire. So I've run 6-gauge wire directly off the cranking battery. It's going to run up here behind the console, and it's going to end at a terminal block. So it's a 4-post terminal block. And what that terminal block allows you to do is have easy access to power any other equipment that you may have, whether you're running multiple graphs, or I've got my my hub that I need to plug in to network everything. So all that's just going to plug in super easy back here. Then I'm going to run the same wire off that terminal block and run it to another terminal block up at the bow, where I'll be able to plug in your multiple graphs, my 360, be able to plug in a hydro wave, anything that you need power up there. It's just easy to put ring connectors on it and just connect it right to that terminal block. So this makes it a lot easier for wiring all your stuff. So we're going to upgrade that, upgrade the electronics. I do have a flasher that was mounted in there. The casing was cracked on it, so it wasn't sitting in there nice and tight. Just went ahead and epoxied that. So that's going to sit in there. It'll be all set to go. Put that in there. The seats need some TLC. There's some mildew and some stains on the seats. Other than that, as far as there's no tears or anything, they're in good shape, so we'll see if we can get those cleaned up. And everything else back there looks pretty good. Just a little bit of elbow grease. Now the trailer, the fenders are in good shape. We've got to replace some of the reflectors on here. And this is like the grip pad. It's kind of a rubbery pad. It's all cracked and just aged and dry rotted. So we're going to replace that with some grip tape from just a local skateboard shop. And of course the wheels and the tires. We're going to polish up the wheels, put a little elbow grease into those just so that they're looking nice. The tires, these are the original tires that were on this trailer, and they're pretty dry rotted. So I found some $50 trailer tires, $50 a piece trailer tires on Amazon. We're going to order those, get those in, and get these swapped out. So we've got some good tires, some good shoes on this thing to be able to travel with it and go fish. Midship area, that's kind of about it. The other side is missing a Puma decal, so we're going to order that from Basscat and put the new decal on the other side. Definitely got some work back here. Starting with the trailer, you can see I've already replaced one of the taillights. It was out. I had a spare. This is the new clear LED lenses that Basscat has, so we're going to order another one for the other side. And I went ahead and just cleaned up the connectors, so it's easy. You just plug them off. Just get you any type of cleaning solution, just scrub it with a brush, get everything cleaned up, and then go ahead and just kind of re-grease around them to waterproof that connection and keep it lasting a long time. But all the wiring, everything was good. Trailer roller's still good. We did cut off the old temperature sensors from the old graphs and the flasher, so we're going to remove those, and then we're going to fill that, any of the existing holes that were on here, we're going to go ahead and fill those with a marine grade sealant that's going to seal that out so no water gets in. Also, Basscat uses these vents. So these are the air vents and air scoops to allow air to move through this whole area where your batteries are, where the gas fumes are. I've removed them, and then the old, it's almost like a old plastic dryer vent tubing that came off here was all dry rotted and nasty, so I found some on Amazon. We've reordered that. We're going to cut new pieces to put in there. Inside the battery compartment, it was a lot of mildew. The batteries were brand new. He had just replaced and put brand new batteries in it, so score there. But we're going to pressure wash that whole area inside. All the pumps, everything are working, but they are the older 750-gallon pumps, so we may put the new 1,000-gallon pumps, at least on the bilge, in there. As far as the motor goes, the motor, only 169 hours on it. Compression's good. Everything checks out good on it, but the main thing that we want to do, we're going to walk through, is lower unit fluid. I don't care, whenever you get a boat, doesn't matter if they said it was just serviced, change out lower unit fluid. It's something cheap to do, it's easy to do, and do it often. That is going to prolong the life of your motor. It's huge. It's a huge thing to do. It takes very little time, very little bit of money, but it's going to definitely lengthen the life of your motor. So we're going to go through lower unit fluid. I do have, that I ordered a long time ago, just never put on a boat, but I have the red striping that will go on here. So we'll get the old, I've got the old off. We've still got to get some of the residue from the decal. We'll get that off. We'll put that on. We are missing some decals on the cowling, so I've ordered new decals through Amazon. Found a good price on them, so we're going to put new decals on the motor. And then inside the motor, what we're going to do is we are going to check the fuel. I am probably going to drain the tanks. There's not much fuel left in them, and this motor wasn't run very much. So we're gonna most likely drain all the fuel just to get that out with ethanol. Whoever knows what was in there, start fresh with some good fuel and get it treated. On the other side of the motor, I'll walk you through how to change the fuel filter, the water separator area, and how to drain that from any water being in there from some bad fuel or just sitting, or if your water alarm goes off that you do have water in your fuel. It's pretty simple to do. I'll show you how to do that. On the back, that's about it, and just cleaning up that whole back deck area and making it look good. So there's a wrap up on everything that we're going to do on this boat, and each little project we'll put out the video on the how-tos on how to do everything so that you guys can follow along, or just have it as reference when you're getting ready to maybe do some upgrades or do some cleaning or some tweaking on your boat.